we, what it is, what it ain't. What we can and what we can't. Welcome back. Shalom, everybody. How y'all doing? Welcome back to the next episode of Reading with SHILO. What's up, baby? Mocho. Let me get my beard right. Nice and tight. There we go, man. We ready to jump back into it. Man, part three of the book of Patrice O'Neal. That's what we get into tonight. Part three, man. I'm trying to move through the book. Make my way. Roll through the sea of pages. Yeah, see how far we can get, man. We're on page 43. We're on page 43 of the book. We got a total of 333 pages. Ain't that something? 333 pages. So far so good. So far I haven't laughed like I'm wanting to, but you know, it's not a problem. It's not a problem. I've been reading okay. in my opinion. But nonetheless, reading and pushing through. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna keep on pushing through. We're gonna keep on rolling through. Man, let's roll. Let's roll. Get my arms ready. Oh. Roll through the sea of pages Mr. Khaled Izaac has laid before us in the book of Patrice O'Neal. But before, we gotta work our body. Work our mind, work our body again. Man, come on. Gotta do something. Get off your ass, man. I don't know what time it is. What time it is? 1:21. Shit, I'm up. So, hey, do something. Something. Oh, man. Before it get too cold to do something. Do something. Man, I definitely feel my arm from slinging them arrows. That's for damn sure. Do something. All right, but let's do something. What we gonna do? I'll do that. All right. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let's go. 8. Let's get it. 9, 10. What up? Shalom. 13, 14, 15, 16. I'm doing my 25 things. Do you something? 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29. Shalom, everybody. I'm doing 50 of them, but you do 25 things. 30, 31, 32, 33, and then we'll get to reading. 35, 36, 37. All I'm asking is 25. Do 25 things, man. 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, almost, 46, 47, 48, 49, almost 50 in that thing. All right, there we go. Now I did 50 things. All I asked you to do is 25. Do half of what I did. Shit, you could do that. You could do that shit. Half of what I did. Worked our body, work our mind. Let's work our mind now. And jump into part 3 of Mr. Khaled Izaac's book, the book of Patrice O'Neal. based on the philosophy of Black Phillip. The book doesn't have chapters, but it is divided into sections, subsections. And I've been choosing, so I'm just naming them part 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever, until we finish the book. Until it's all said and done, until we have rolled on to the destination. So let's see what we can learn and grow from in part 3 of the book of Patrice O'Neal. A happy man means a happy woman. A happy man who is content in his life brings that energy to his woman. She'll feed off of it. Patrice O'Neal. Patrice believed that a man's happiness is the cornerstone of a successful relationship. Men are simple creatures. Our happiness can come from the most basic things: daydreaming, wasting time, or even just throwing rocks in a river. When men are content and fulfilled, it creates a positive atmosphere that naturally benefits the relationship. A happy man is more likely to go above and beyond to make his partner feel secure and appreciated. Patrice often emphasized that women are drawn to men who are confident and happy, creating a positive feedback loop in the relationship. When a woman feels secure and loved by a happy man, she's more likely to be supportive, loving, and respectful in return. However, it's crucial for men to understand that their happiness should come first, not from a place of selfishness, but from a place of knowing that you can't pour from an empty cup. If you try to please her constantly, you'll end up misdirected, chasing her whims and losing your own sense of direction. Yes, indeed. Handle your business. Patrice pointed out that women often don't truly know what makes them happy. They're driven by moment-to-moment desires and the fantasy of romance. They might ask for flowers, a movie date, or a dinner. And while these things might bring temporary relief, they don't lead to lasting happiness for either partner. Men need to recognize this and understand that their role isn't to appease every passing whim, but to lead the relationship with confidence and purpose. The key, according to Patrice, is for men to focus on their own happiness and well-being first. And by doing so, they create a solid foundation for the relationship, one where both partners can thrive. And this doesn't mean neglecting your partner's needs and rather finding a balance where your own happiness is prioritized, allowing you to be the strong, supportive partner she needs. When you are content and fulfilled, you inspire your partner to do the same, leading to a more harmonious and successful relationship. Lesson 1, why your happiness is paramount. Patrice: what's up, man? Brian: I'm good, but here's the deal. I've been seeing this girl on and off for about 5 years. We took almost a year-long break, and then we bumped into each other at the bar a couple of weeks ago. I made her feel like an idiot in front of my friends, and then, like an idiot myself, I drunk called her at 3 a.m. Next thing I know, we're talking, seeing each other again, and it's been going all right. But I don't know, man. I'm stuck. Patrice: you know what it sounds like? Tell me if I'm wrong, but it seems like you got back with her out of guilt for how you acted. You didn't dislike her, but after making her feel dumb, you felt bad. Now you're almost back with her as a sort of apology for your behavior. Brian: yeah, that sounds about right. The feelings came back and I was trying to work things out. Patrice: but here's the real question. Are you getting back with her because you want to, or because you feel guilty? It sounds like you're looking for someone to tell you no so you don't have to live with that guilt. But let me tell you something. Your happiness is paramount. If you're not happy, she won't be either, and everything will fall apart. You're the top predator in your relationship ecosystem. If you're messed up, everything else will be too. Now, Brian, yeah, I hear you. Woman, keeping a woman happy will also make you happy. When the girl is happy, you're happy. Patrice. See, this is why I love having women on the show. Did you hear what she just said? That's what a typical selfish woman thinks. It's all about her feelings. When I'm happy, I'll make sure my man is happy. But where does that happiness come from? It's always on the man to make her happy. And if you don't, she'll just move on. The woman. But if you don't make me happy, we won't be together. Patrice. Exactly. Your happiness is fleeting, like a goldfish's memory. You don't even know what's going to make you happy tomorrow. It's up to the man to figure that out. And that's why your happiness should never depend on her. Now, Brian, you have to protect your happiness furiously because once you give that up, you're done. Brian. Yeah, I was trying to figure out what to do. Patrice. Now, listen. You need to realize that she's still around because she's interested in you. But you're getting caught up in the idea of making her happy, thinking that it's going to solve everything, and it won't. Your happiness is the priority. If you're happy, she'll follow your lead. You just got to set the tone, not the other way around. Woman number 2. He's investing time in someone he doesn't even want. He should just walk away. Patrice. Exactly. Here's the thing. Guys want a woman who's there for them when they need her, not someone who's dictating how they should feel. It's like having a dog. You love feeding your dog because you like seeing it happy, but you're the one deciding when and how. That's how you need to approach your relationship. You dictate the happiness, not her. Brian, right. Patrice, if you give her everything she wants, you'll end up a punk, and she'll toss you to the curb. You've got to give her what she needs, not what she thinks she wants. You've got to be in control of that, and otherwise, you're just setting yourself up for misery. So, figure out what you really want, Brian. And don't let her or anyone else mess with your happiness. Brian, I got it. Thanks, Patrice. Patrice's advice from the conversation. Prioritize your own happiness. He emphasizes that a man's happiness should be his top priority. If you're not happy, the relationship won't be healthy. Your happiness sets the tone for the entire relationship. And if you're miserable, everything else will fall apart. Don't sacrifice your well-being just to avoid guilt or to try to make someone else happy. Don't let guilt drive your decisions. Patrice points out that Brian is considering getting back with his ex out of the guilt rather than genuine desire. He warns against letting guilt or a sense of obligation dictate your actions. Instead, make decisions based on what genuinely makes you happy and what's best for you, and understand the power dynamics in a relationship. Patrice highlights that the person who controls their own happiness holds the power in a relationship. He advises that you should never let your happiness depend on someone else, especially not on fulfilling their constantly changing desires. But maintaining control over your own happiness, by maintaining control over your own happiness, you keep the relationship balanced. Women don't always know what they want. Patrice argues that women often don't truly know what will make them happy, and their happiness is often fleeting and based on moment-to-moment desires. As a man, it's important to recognize this and not to get caught up in trying to fulfill every whim. Instead, focus on what you know will keep the relationship stable and fulfilling. Set boundaries and don't be manipulated. Patrice warns Brian about the dangers of constantly trying to please his partner, which can lead to manipulation. He advises setting clear boundaries and being the one who decides what's best for the relationship. Don't let your partner dictate your actions. Instead, be assertive and maintain control over your own life. Recognize when you're in a bad situation. And Patrice tells Brian that if he's in a situation he doesn't want to be in, it's his responsibility to change it. Blaming the woman won't help, and Brian needs to take charge and make decisions to align with his own happiness. Don't settle out of convenience or guilt. And lastly, Patrice suggests that Brian is only considering getting back with his ex out of the convenience or guilt, not because he truly wants to. He advises against settling in relationships and encourages Brian to seek what truly makes him happy, even if that means walking away. Happy wife, happy life is bullshit. If you spend your life trying to make a woman happy, you'll forget how to be happy yourself. Patrice O'Neal. Happy wife, happy life is a myth that sets men up for the full-time job of constantly trying to please a woman, only to face the inevitable anxiety of her next demand. In reality, trying to keep a woman happy all the time leads to a miserable man. And women often only make you happy when they're content. But here's the catch. Her happiness is always rooted in your actions. She expects you to be responsible for her happiness while you end up sacrificing your own. Patrice believes that happiness flows from the top down, not the other way around. For a woman to be truly happy, the man must first be happy. If you're not content, you'll struggle to make her happy, and that's where the problem starts. The goal for a man should be to maintain his own principles and sturdiness, not to make endless sacrifices in response to his woman's increasing demands. Unwavering compliance weakens your masculine image, making you less attractive in her eyes. When you constantly say, yes, no problem, it's all right, to every request, boundary crossing, or unjustified demand, you're essentially giving away your power. She gets used. There we go. To define you and eventually takes control of the relationship, which only leads to further dissatisfaction on both sides. Patrice's wisdom teaches us that once men find and control their own happiness, women will naturally follow suit. The truth is, women often don't know what truly satisfies them. They're not as simple or straightforward as men. They want more each time you give in to their demands, and once you fulfill one task, there's always another waiting. Their constant demands can easily distract you from your own goals and desires. The key is to focus on your own happiness first. When you're happy and grounded, you set the tone for the relationship. Your woman's happiness should be a byproduct of your own, not the other way around. Don't fall into the trap of making your life about constantly appeasing her. Instead, maintain your own standards and control your own happiness. When you do that, everything else falls into place. Men don't please women. Women please men. Shalom, everybody. Women want to be led, not catered to. The more you try to please her, the more she controls you, and the less she respects you. Patrice O'Neal. Your happiness is the foundation of her happiness, because a true woman, finds fulfillment in making you happy. When a woman pleases you, it brings joy to both of you. But if you spend your time trying to please her, you're already on the wrong or the losing side. The dynamic is completely off. Come on. The dynamic is completely off. She should be the one trying to please you, not the other way around. Women are naturally inclined to be people pleasers, but that only works when they're focused on pleasing the right person, you. Now, women may call men dogs, but the truth is, dogs are loyal when they're treated right. If she treats you like a king, she becomes the queen who deserves your loyalty. When she respects you, her main priority will be pleasing you. And this doesn't mean you can't be a nourishing force or a nourishing force in her life, helping her grow as a person. You can do all that without bending over backward to help please her. As her leader, you decide what's best for her and then provide it. This is how you truly take care of her, but never let her dictate the order of things. Looking after her needs as responsible leaders should, it's not the same as trying to please her. You're there to provide, protect, and be her emotional rock. The least she can do in return is to try to please you. Remember, chasing a woman's validation, trying to please her, is a feminine behavior. As a man, your role is to lead, not to follow her whims. When you maintain this dynamic, you keep the relationship healthy and balanced, with both partners fulfilling their roles. That feeling in your gut. Your gut is your mind telling you the truth before your heart can lie to you. Woo, you better believe it, baby. You better believe it. Oh, something ain't right. Your gut is your mind telling you the truth before your heart can lie to you. Patrice O'Neal. As men, we often filter our true nature, holding back what we feel. But if something hits you in the gut, it's valid. There's something real going on, and you should act on it or speak up. The truth is a gut reaction that shoots straight to your mouth, but society labels it as cruelty when men are honest. Meanwhile, women get to speak their minds without the same consequences. Many men bite their tongues out of fear of her reaction, fear of a fight, fear of not getting laid, or fear of losing her altogether. But here's the thing, fearing her repercussions only give her more control over your life. Take this example. You've been taking a girl out on numerous dates, but she's still not giving it up. Women know what you're after. They know the game. They've been selling men on the implied promise of future sex for years, making us jump through hoops for something they know we want. This vague promise is powerful, but it's often just that, a promise without delivery. The trick is to stop letting this implied product control you. When you take her out to dinner, sure, that's fair, but you need to be clear with yourself about what you want from it. If you want sex, express that desire, tactfully but clearly. Women have sexual and emotional desires, and they're looking for men who can fulfill them. So embrace your own sexuality. Be a man. Talk like a man. Act like a man. And never apologize for your testosterone or your desires. Women don't apologize for their femininity. So why should you apologize for your masculinity? Stop hiding the fact that you want to fuck. Say something dirty. If that's what you want. If that's not what she wants, she can decide to leave or stay. And about the whole courting process, ask yourself, who really needs it? You or her? As a man, you're ready to fuck the moment you meet her. You don't need to like her to do it. In fact, if you don't like her before you fuck, you're likely to fuck her even better because you won't be holding back. You won't care about her hips being in a funny position. Or if you pull something of her hair, if you pull some of her hair out, or if you put her head in the toilet. Ironically, fucking her like you don't like her often leads to her developing more feelings for you because you are unapologetically in your element. don't know how the head got in the toilet, but so the bottom line is this. Stop filtering yourself. Stop fearing the repercussions and stop playing her game. Be true to what you want. Act on it and let the chips fall where they may. That's how you maintain control and keep your power intact. Attraction, men and women. Women have to like you to sleep with you. Men have to like you to sleep with you again. Patrice O'Neal. Men and women are wired completely differently when it comes to love and sex. For women, they often need to feed some kind of emotional connection or love before they're ready to have sex. For men, it's the opposite. We need sex to even start thinking about love. I used to think, how good she fucked me is how good she loved, or how much she loved me. It was a stupid thought, but hey, I was like, if she fucked me like I was the last man on earth, the only one, and she been looking for me for years, oh, she really loved me. That just made the game easier for her. It really wasn't no love. Men and women are wired completely differently when it comes to love and sex. For women, they often need to feel some kind of emotional connection or love before they're ready to have sex. For men, it's the opposite. We need sex to even start thinking about love. This difference creates a lot of frustration because we're operating on two different wavelengths. Women start from who you are and work their way down to sex, while men start from sex and build up from there. For men, the attraction to a woman is initially all about the physical. Sex is the entry point. If the sex is good, then we might start to see more of her, maybe even consider a relationship. But if the sex is just meh, why would we want to go further? Our emotional investment comes after sexual satisfaction and not before. Men do not walk into a situation looking for a deep relationship right off the bat. We want sex first. And if that's good, then we might start thinking about something more. That's the prerequisite. If a woman can keep a man interested and satisfied after the sex, then she's got a value in his eyes. But ladies, the longer you make a man wait for sex, the less valuable it becomes when it finally happens. And then don't let it suck. Oh, and then don't let it be bad. I've been waiting all this. Oh, you garbage juice. Oh, dusty foot. You dusty foot. However, it's not just about having great sex. It's about her responsiveness to you as a man. If she's not all in and totally responsive now, it's only going to get worse. Oh, yes, indeed. She's more likely to see you as a provider rather than the man who she truly excites her. For women, commitment and competence are what they look for before they're ready to have sex. They build from who you are down to sex. Sex is the lowest part of the relationship for them. They might be more interested in who you are at first, but once we've had sex, their interest shifts to how well we can keep them satisfied emotionally and otherwise. Patricia's wisdom boils down to this. Men and women are playing different games. Men start with sex and decide if they want to stick around, while women start with figuring out who you are before they decide if they want to give it up. Now, understanding this dynamic can help you navigate relationships without getting caught up in the frustrations that come with these differing approaches. It's your logic versus her emotions. It's your logic versus her emotions. Men and women think differently. You're logical, they're emotional. Understand that and you can navigate anything. Patrice O'Neal. Patrice had a unique take on relationships, understanding that the balance between logic and emotion is crucial for a man's success with women. He understood the importance of logic, but also recognized that emotions, especially anger, have their place, particularly when dealing with women. He believed that men need to be both logical and emotional, and neglecting one or the other leads to problems. He emphasized that low neuroticism, being able to tolerate stress and control oneself, is attractive in men because a man who can't handle pressure can't lead others. However, if you're all logic and no emotion, women won't find you appealing. They might see you as passionless or boring. And boredom is the death knell of a relationship. The death knell. K-N-E-L-L. What is that? Nail. Let's see. K-N-E-L-L. Nail. The death knell of a relationship. K-N-E-L-L. K-N-E. Nail. The sonorous, doleful sound of a single bell tolled as a token of mourning. To toll a bell, nail. To toll a bell, nail. Well, the boredom of a death knell. There we go. Yeah. A single bell tolled as a token of mourning. Bing! The nail. Death knell in a relationship. Women crave excitement, even if it comes with a bit of chaos. They would rather deal with the unpredictability of the exciting man than the safety of a boring one. The key, according to Patrice, is introducing a controlled level of chaos into a relationship to keep it fresh and engaging. This doesn't mean being toxic, but rather keeping things interesting by challenging her in playful, teasing ways. If a woman pisses you off and you don't show it, she'll walk all over you. Women respect a man who can express his emotions, especially anger, without losing control. If you're emotional without being logical, you're just acting like a woman, and she'll lose respect for you because your emotions lack direction and purpose. Patrice understood that emotions are valid, but they need to be managed wisely. And loving a woman doesn't mean overlooking her behavior when it's unacceptable. If she's doing things that make you dislike her, you need to call her on it. Call her out on it. Women often get too comfortable when they know a man loves them, leading them to take his love for granted. Patrice's approach was to maintain control over your emotions while still addressing issues directly and assertively. Men often undervalue emotion, seeing it as a weakness. But Patrice knew that women love or live by their emotions. They need their feelings acknowledged to feel understood. And without that emotional validation, they become uncooperative, no matter how logical your argument is. However, this doesn't mean men should be as emotionally open as a woman. Emotional self-discipline is crucial, and men need to remain level-headed to guide the relationship. And not every problem requires a logical solution. Sometimes empathy and understanding are more effective. I was about to get that flipped with important, are more effective. He advised against being too emotionally open around women. Women might try to get you to open up, but if you become too vulnerable, they may lose respect for you. Don't let them soften your edge or tame you. Maintain your emotional control and be your own man. The balance is being compassionate and level-headed without becoming detached or unstable. In summary, his wisdom teaches that men need to blend logic with controlled emotion, staying true to their nature while understanding and navigating the emotional landscape of women. This balance is what keeps relationships strong, prevents conflict, and maintains mutual respect and attraction. Women and emotions. Women and emotions. Women are goofy, man. They live in their emotions. A woman could be mad at you for something you did in her dreams, and in her mind is your fault. Patrice O'Neal. Man. Patrice often pointed out that the stark differences between how men and women process the world, particularly when it comes to emotions. He believed that women are fundamentally emotional creatures, often making decisions based on how they feel in the moment rather than their logic or reason. This emotional-driven approach can lead to impulsive decisions and reactions that might seem irrational from a male's perspective. For Patrice, understanding this dynamic was key to navigating relationships effectively. Women operate in the world of feelings. What feels true to them is often taken as fact, regardless of the logical inconsistencies. This is why women can sometimes seem unpredictable and capricious. When a woman is caught up in her emotions, her capacity for rationality diminishes. And trying to argue with a woman using logic is like bringing a knife to a gunfight. You're not going to win because she's playing a different game altogether. It's advised that men not get caught up in a woman's emotional whirlwind. The saying goes, don't feed into their drama because that's what they want, emotion. Women thrive on emotional exchanges, whether they're positive or negative. When a man stays calm and logical, he retains control over the situation, preventing it from spiraling out of control. And women, in contrast, might push emotional buttons to provoke a response. And when they succeed, it only validates their approach. Patrice was only keenly aware of what he called the emotional force field women put up when triggered. When a woman hears something that touches a nerve, she might shut down to reason and become entirely consumed by her feelings. This can lead to erratic behavior, sudden mood swings, and an inability to focus on the actual issue at hand. Patrice believed this is why women can sometimes struggle to maintain stability and consistency in relationships, because their emotions often take precedence over everything else. And everyday examples illustrates this well. If a woman provokes you to the point where you lose your temper and call her a cunt, she'll focus solely on your outburst of calling her a cunt, not on what led to it. In her mind, the issue is not her behavior, but your reaction. Women are twisted like that, highlighting how they can twist situations to suit their emotional narrative. When women open up about their emotions, they tend to become consumed by them, acting them out rather than merely discussing them. For men, the challenge is to acknowledge and address these emotions without being pulled into the storm. The advice here is to manage her emotions. Don't reason with them. The man's role in the relationship includes taking responsibility for managing his partner's emotional state, not by suppressing her feelings, but by guiding the emotional exchange in a way that maintains stability. I guess I got some working to do with that. Man, I don't know if I got that down yet. How to guide it. Because I'll be like, fuck your feelings. And a lot of shit. Man, fuck that. I don't give a fuck. I don't care. Fuck that. What you want? Shit, not around here. What you want to do? Celebrate Christmas? Not over here. We don't do that around here. Not around here. Women, according to Patrice, need emotions to function. If you refuse to engage in emotional back and forth, it leaves them at a loss, as their entire strategy relies on these exchanges. This is why a woman can escalate from calm to furious in an instant if she feels ignored or dismissed emotionally. Now, Patrice would humorously note that if you tell a woman, sweetie, you talk too much, she'll likely take offense and withdraw, punishing you with silence. Punishing you with silence. When women are wrong, they often resist help or correction, becoming emotional and uncooperative. Trying to reason with a woman in these moments is futile because she's not operating from a place of logic. Women don't have a point of view. They have a feeling. And unlike a point of view, which is shaped by thinking and logic, a feeling is fleeting and can change without warning. Women might not hit you with logical facts in an argument, but they will shift the conversation using emotional appeals and even derail the discussion entirely to keep you on the emotional roller coaster. Patrice's ultimate advice to men was to remain emotionally available without becoming emotionally consumed. Don't let your woman's emotions dictate your happiness or disrupt your life. Learn to navigate her emotional world without being pulled under by it. This balance, according to Patrice, is key to maintaining your happy and prosperous relationship. Lesson number 2. Women are fueled from emotions. Patrice, let me ask you a question. Is there anything you ever did in your previous relationship that you go, wow, maybe I could have done better? What was it? Woman. Yes, I think I was selfish, thinking mostly of myself, and I told him that no woman should ever tell a man that you love him and that you care for him because they will fucking rip your soul out through your vagina. Patrice, really expound on that. Woman, silence. Patrice, exactly. Now, here's what it is. What she just said was just based on emotion. You understand? She has no level 2. Let me tell you what she just did. She said something. Now, fellas, and this is what it is. They need you to give them the next thing so then they can have the next thing. You understand? Meaning they are reactionary. She has a thought, but it's really not an expanding thought. It's really just a regular thing like saying, all men are dogs. And then a guy has to go, I'm no dog. And she goes, yes, you are. Women's whole thought process is based on shit that a motherfucker gives her. I'm no dog. And she goes, yes, you are. Women's whole thought process is based on shit that a motherfucker gives her. This is our job, fellas, to put options in women's heads. You can give it this or you can give it that. You can give it this, so you can get with that. You can get with this, so you can get with that. You can get with this, because this is where it's at. In this insightful exchange, Patrice highlights the emotional nature of women's thinking through the conversation that perfectly encapsulates this dynamic. When he asked the woman if she ever reflected on her past relationship and thought she could have done better, her response was telling. She admitted that she had been selfish and regretted telling her partner that she loved him, fearing that this vulnerability would lead to her getting hurt. Patrice immediately recognized what was happening. Her statement wasn't a fully formed, rational thought. It was an emotional reaction. When he asked her to expand on her answer, she fell silent, unable to go deeper. This, he explained, was a perfect example of how women often operate on level 1 thinking. They express emotions rather than fully developed thoughts. And when pressed to elaborate, they struggle because their initial statement wasn't based on logic or reason, but on how they felt in that moment. Patrice pointed out that women's thought processes are often reactionary. They respond emotionally to a situation and rely on a man to provide the next layer of dialogue, the logical progression that they haven't fully considered. This is why, according to him, women might say something like, all men are dogs, expecting the man to counter with, I'm not a dog. The conversation then continues, but it's the man who provides the substance, the context, and the rational perspective that the initial emotional statement lacks. For Patrice, this dynamic underscores a crucial role for men in relationships, to guide the conversation, to help women move beyond the initial emotional reaction, and to develop a deeper understanding. It's our job, fellas, to put options in women's heads, he would say. This means offering different perspectives, challenging their initial assumptions, and leading them from an emotional response to a more thoughtful and reasoned conclusion. His wisdom in this exchange highlights the importance of recognizing that women's statements are often the beginning of a conversation, not the end. They may express an emotion or a reaction, but it's up to the man to engage with that, to expand it, to help guide the dialogue to a place of mutual understanding. Managing neuroticism in relationships. Managing shalom, managing neuroticism in a relationship. This will probably be the last section right here. Yeah, this will be the last section. It might have been a while, but I'm out here reading shit. Reading how to manage neuroticism in relationships. A woman's mind is like a circus. There's always something going on, and half the time, even she doesn't know what it is. Your job is to make sure the crazy doesn't spill into your life. Patrice O'Neal. Excuse me. Many women struggle with self-awareness, particularly when it comes to managing their neurotic tendencies. This lack of awareness often leads to behaviors that can make life difficult for both her and her partner. Neuroticism, characterized by anxiety, emotional instability, and moodiness, is something that needs to be carefully evaluated in a woman. The less neurotic she is, the better your life will be. A highly neurotic woman can turn your life into a nightmare, either by constantly worrying or driving you insane, or by being aggressive and abusive. Neither scenario is good for a healthy relationship. One way to address this issue is by putting options in a woman's head. This means guiding her behavior through a combination of discipline, care, and consistent boundaries. When a woman is given free rein to act however she pleases, it often comes at your expense. Without the fear of consequences, she will naturally act in her own best interests, which may not always align with yours. And however, when you lay out clear consequences for her actions, it shifts the dynamic. The pressure is now on her to manage her behavior, rather than you constantly trying to mitigate the fallout. The goal is to delicately get her to accept that she needs to make an active, constant effort to manage her neurotic tendencies. It's not about controlling her, but rather helping her understand that unchecked neuroticism can damage both her life and yours. A woman's responsibility is to be aware of her harmful propensities and to do her best to minimize them for the sake of the relationship. To do this, you need to establish firm but fair boundaries. If she knows there are repercussions for letting her emotions run wild, she's more likely to think twice before acting out. This isn't about being harsh or authoritarian. It's about creating an environment where she can learn to control her neurotic impulses. Through constant discipline and care, you can help her develop the self-awareness necessary to manage her emotions more effectively. A key aspect of this approach is ensuring that you're not the one constantly bearing the brunt of her emotional instability. If she starts to spiral into neurotic behavior, calmly remind her of the boundaries you've set and the consequences that will follow if these boundaries are crossed. And over time, she'll learn to check herself before letting her emotions get the better of her, leading to a more stable and harmonious relationship. Ultimately, it's important for her to understand that managing her neuroticism is not just for your benefit, it's for hers as well. But by taking responsibility for her emotional well-being, she can avoid the stress and strain that come with unchecked neuroticism, leading to a healthier, happier life for both of you. Your role is to provide the guidance and structure she needs to develop this self-awareness, but it's up to her to take ownership of her behavior and make the necessary changes. Man, how far? Man, oh man. Let's go one more. Let's go one more page. We'll go one more page and that's it. We'll go one more page. Women's emotional maturity. Women don't have to grow up. Women don't have to grow up, man. They hit a certain age and they stop maturing because life gets too easy for them. Patrice O'Neal. Emotional maturity is about controlling your emotions rather than letting them control you. It involves the ability to manage feelings with restraint, to endure discomfort without lashing out, and to express emotions in a measured, respectful manner. However, this kind of emotional maturity doesn't typically describe the average woman, according to Patrice's observations. He believed that women often stop maturing emotionally when they reach the point of physical blossoming, typically in their teenage years. And from this point on, life becomes easier for them in many ways because society begins to hand things to them, from attention to opportunities. This early empowerment leads to a kind of arrested development, and women don't really have the incentive or motivation to mature further because they don't need to. As Patrice would say, a woman is the most mature teenager in the house. This lack of emotional growth means that many women in their 20s, 30s, 40s, and even 50s are mentally stuck at the level of adolescence. They've been encouraged, emboldened, and empowered from the early age, but without the accompanying emotional maturity to handle reality. The result is that they are often display what's known as the Dunning-Kruger effect. The Dunning-Kruger effect. Cognitive bias, where people overestimate their knowledge or ability because they haven't been challenged to grow beyond their privileges they've been given. Patrice would argue that true empowerment from women would involve encouraging them to take responsibility for their own growth, rather than blaming men for their problems. Feminism often pushes the ideas that men can do better, but Patrice pointed out that this applies to everyone. True empowerment isn't about shaming or blaming others. It's about personal accountability and facing the challenges of its head on. However, it's important to note that Patrice didn't single out women as the only ones who can be emotionally immature. He acknowledged that many men also suffer from emotional retardation, particularly because they don't have the same opportunities to mature socially. Men, according to Patrice, often get stuck in an adolescent social skill set they develop between the ages of 13 and 19. Without the right challenges or encouragement to grow, a man's emotional and social maturity can stagnate, just as can for women. Man. His insight was that emotional maturity isn't a given. It's something that must be developed and nurtured over time. While society may make it easy for women to avoid this growth, true emotional maturity is essential for both men and women if they want to build fulfilling lives and relationships. The key is self-awareness and the willingness to push beyond the comfort zone that life sometimes hands you, to face the reality of what it means to be truly mature. We're going to stop right there. That was part three of the book of Patrice and NEAL by Mr. Khaled Izaac. So far, so good. So far, so good. It is repetitive. Some stuff is repetitive. So I'm getting the idea that it's going to be. Or at least that's my assumption right now. We'll see. We'll keep going. But hey, it's part of the philosophy. Sometimes certain philosophies you're going to have to, I guess, beat into your head. They beat all type of other shit into your head. They say it over and over and over and over and over again. They say the lies. They say the propaganda, the bullshit over and over and over again. I guess he can say the truth over and over again. It's not a problem. I guess I'm still trying to get an understanding of certain books, a certain type of understanding. How people read, I guess I have this image or this, picture in my mind of when people who read a lot of books, how they read them, and when people ask you about the book, so what you think about the book? I like how people look at paintings and they be like, oh, I can see the depth and the warmth in this painting. And I look at that and I be like, man, I don't see shit. Like nigga just threw some color on there. I could have did that. What the hell nigga talking about looking like he had depth? I could look at all the emotion. Look at all the emotion you put into that painting. I could feel the tears. What? I say anything. People say anything. All crazy. We think people crazy. You know, but to be able to see like, okay, maybe that's the purpose. Maybe that's the purpose of it being, you know, maybe it's the purpose to challenge the propaganda that's already out. Being that you may not have, well, nowadays you probably have more, but back in the day you didn't have, I guess you didn't have a lot of stuff out there that was challenging the propaganda that was being pushed by all the shows and stuff. All the different shows and stuff like Oprah and Ricky Lake and whatever other shows they had. There really wasn't nothing combating it, for real. So I mean, the repetitiveness, I guess that's something. I wonder if that's a tactic for writers. I don't know. For authors, maybe. Yeah, I don't know who Fuzz Dudley is, man. I don't know who that is. But anyway, man, we worked our body, we worked our mind, and let's go ahead and work our body one more time on the go out. Let's go out. Work our body. On the down slope. On out. So what are we going to do? What am I going to do? Oh, push-ups. I guess I'll do some more push-ups, man. Let's get some push-ups out the way. Hey, you might, come on, do something. 25 something. That's all I'm asking of you. Asking of you. You, 25. Get off your ass. Drop it and give me 25, man. 25. Do something. 1, let's go. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. Come on. I'm going to give you 25 more. I'm going to do 50. I'm going to do my 50. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Get up! 12. Come on, get up. Get on up. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. We almost there. 19. Come on, push it out. 20. Let's go. 21. Almost 4 more. 22. 23. 24. 25. There we go. I did 50. Shit. 50. If I can do 50, you should be able to do 25. If I could do 50, you should be able to do 25. 25 something, shit. Hey, get out your chair 25 times. Get off your ass 25 times. Kick your leg up 25 times. Throw your elbow 25 times. Do a side crunch 25 times. You got time to, you can do something. Do something. We're trying to build a better habit. We're trying to build a better us. We're trying to move forward. We got things to do, man. You have everything you need to succeed. We just got to build upon it. You have all the gifts you need right there. You just got to build upon it. Build upon it. Build upon what you have. That's part of what he says too. You know, invest in yourself. Invest in yourself. Your health, your knowledge, your wisdom. your education. These are things you can do on your own. You ain't gotta wait. You don't have to wait. I don't have to wait for nobody to tell me to read. It's just whether or not I want to read or not. Shit. Get up and do it. If you don't, it's not gonna get done. Nobody told me to pick up a bow and try to go hunt. Man, I wanted to get up, have my bow. I need to stop just hunting fish with it and kill a deer with it. Shit, make a move. Get out of the comfort zone. Get out of the comfort zone. But we doing good. We moving right along in the book, though. We're rowing wonderfully. We're rowing wonderfully along in the book. I appreciate everybody who stopped by, rode right along with me, lending me an ear. Look, we going through, man. We'll come back in part 4. Part 4, we'll start part 4 with a woman interprets statements about women in general as directed at her personally. A woman interprets statements about women in general as directed at her personally. We'll come back and pick back up with that section. With that section in the book of Patrice O'Neal, man. One episode at a time. One book at a time. One book at a time. One part at a time. One chapter at a time. One page at a time. One section at a time. One line at a time. Here a little, there a little, till we seek and find, man, what it is that we can learn and grow from and through all these books that we choose to read. And I'm gonna keep doing my part, man. Since people say that, oh, the world going in, since niggas reading, they guess what, baby? I'm about to read. Oh, London Bridge is falling down. I'm gonna read, baby. SHILO, destroyer of worlds, baby. That's what I'm gonna be. I'm gonna keep reading. If that's all it take, to bring down the system, is for reading. Oh, look, I'm on the front line, baby. I'm on the front lines. Bootsoulja reading. Let me read these bullets. Let me read them to you. If that's all it takes, I'm going to keep doing my part. I'm going to push on. I'm going to push through. And we're going to try to learn something in the process, man. Hey, they say if you want to hide something, man, from a nigga, put it in the book, man. Let's see what they hiding. Let's see what they hiding. Let's see what the people trying to cover up in the sea of pages. In the sea of pages that they lay before us. Or that they try to hide stuff from us. Hey, till next time, man. Catch me on the next one, man. Like, comment, subscribe, tell your people, man. SHILO out here reading shit, man. And we'll be back the next time, next episode, and pick back up in Mr. Khaled Isaac's book, Patrice O'Neal. And I'm out here, man. Shalom, everybody. I'm out.